How convenient is that? Thank God we got the actual footage.
Hey, this might sound like a really dumb question, but did you guys see anything fall out of the sky?
Asking others what they saw.
I would normally discount it as nothing. However, seeing as one of my partners said they saw it too, only reason I'm actually investigating.
Now this is the actual footage that was uploaded to TikTok with the aliens in the yard. I'm going to let you guys watch the original and then I will show you the version I processed highlighting the beings. Notice how the family is fully armed. He has a gun in his hand, ready to shoot. That is how scared they are. He literally just said, oh my god, it has giant eyes and a big mouth. If you pay close attention, you can actually see the beings in the tractor, blinking and looking at the family. I'll actually highlight it in the processed video. Now this is the best that I could do. As you can see here, I circled one of the creatures. The other one is standing right behind him. Don't worry, I've also enhanced some images from these stills so that you can get a better look at what we're seeing here. Circled is a creature in the tractor, and now I'm going to highlight the one right behind him. Look at this. Look at its big eyes. What's more concerning is this update I'm going to add next. The entire family has now...
Welcome back to the channel, guys. I hope you all are having a great day. So, this is covering the UFO Las Vegas landing. This is this entire story. I came off immediately looking at it as a hoax. I'm certainly a big skeptic on this. But what I find interesting about this video, well, there are a few things. but we're gonna get into some details about why I decided to do a video on this and revisit the topic. Uh, I didn't cover the original story because I thought it was a hoax right out the bat. But this is some interesting details. And so let's talk a little bit about it. So, if you're not familiar with the Las Vegas supposed UFO landing, it's all over the internet. It's all over your major news stories. So you can watch the original videos. I'll try to see if I can leave a links in the description, as well as this video that was edited by Chaos Moogle, so you can look at it in its entirety and get a full scope of it. But um, the thing is this. So in the original story, what had everybody really looking into this was at the point where the police were getting ready to go into the backyard, it goes black, right? In other words, the police wouldn't record that. And that was highly suspicious to a lot of people, because why wouldn't the family want them to record that to see what's happening in the backyard to further to substantiate their story? And the police was talking about they don't record private property. Just seemed highly irregular that the police could just first just get the permission of the family or something like that. Just go, is it okay for us to record this, take a look back here and see? And I'm sure the family would have been fine with it, right? So that's kind of an odd rule I had never heard with the police department. Anyway, the family did end up uploading their video to TikTok, and this is what we get. Now, I looked at this, and I had to look at it a few times because I didn't seemingly see anything, right? The first few times looking at the video. And then I started thinking, well, this looks like an optical illusion or something like that. But then I started to notice that after a few times, it did seems like these big these big head alien with these eyes, they were blinking. The the eyes of the aliens were blinking, right? And I said, that looks highly unusual. That doesn't look like an optical illusion because it looks specific. Now, it could still be a hoax, obviously, or it could be some type of person, some type of mask or anything, right? We don't know. Now, why would they be doing that? I'm not really sure. But I guess this video is to kind of as well, because again, I'm coming from the still coming from the standpoint of a skeptic, but I do think there's some information out there that hasn't been considered about these um, alien UFOs, as it were, right? All right, so some things I think it kind of comes out a bit inaccurate about many of these descriptions of aliens or what these creatures can be is one of the first mistakes I hear a lot in the popular culture out there is that they come from some other planet where they've transversed uh, trillions of miles and light years, etc. Right? Distances that would take hundreds of thousands or millions of years to get to the next star. Right? And that idea is seemingly not to be like the number one idea about where these things could come from if they exist. The more compelling ideas now are that they are somewhat interdimensional. So more think of it more of akin to parallel Earths, right? That are side by side, well, but they can somehow travel through another plane to get to one distance to another. Obviously, when they start discussing ideas like wormholes, transdimensional travel, or interdimensional travel, or even time travel, now you're starting to discuss uh, different means of travel, right? And so, if that's possible, then it can become more likely that these creatures could arrive. Um, Now, what you're looking at in this picture here isn't particularly an alien species, but something called the chupacabra. Now, a lot of times, how the chupacabra explained. It's not explained so much as a space alien, but some type of species that's been on the Earth for a while. And the thing about the chupacabra is, what I find interesting is the description of the chupacabra seems to fit that of many space aliens. The big red family described a lot. And these things are oftentimes spotted in areas where UFOs are, right? So they become interconnected with UFO, many of the UFO hotspots that feature the chupacabra, or where you see the chupacabra, or where people report chupacabra, is where UFO spacecraft are. So I think people are forgetting that these don't necessarily have to be some type of alien species that has traveled millions of miles, and so they think it's impossible. But maybe they could be some type of time traveling interdimensional being, right? Also, the time travel thing can present an interesting concept because let's say it is some type of interdimensional travel and they're coming out of one wormhole into another and so on and so forth, or there's somehow defined physics and space time being connected together. Well, then you might get certain temporal fluxes, right? As to say, let's say if they come out of a wormhole and they land, right, or they crash, maybe they're not so good. Let's just assume that this is new technology to them. Maybe they're not so great at this time travel interdimensional stuff, so that's why they're crashing a lot. So if they come out of one and let's say they go back into another point in time, space time, then what will happen at that original point in time, uh, and their craft, right? Bring that stuff from the future. What could probably happen is then that stuff could disappear like it never existed, like how we watch these various time travel movies, and that might explain how they can disappear so quickly without a trace, right? Also, if they're interdimensional beings, they're probably popping in and out of our space time reality or continuum, right? So, as crazy as that sounds, some of that might actually relate to some of Einstein's theories of space travel and etc. Relativity as such, right? Maybe, right? Just looking at it like that. Also, I find it interesting that what is the significance of them always of this particular family describing the alien with glowing eyes, glowing red eyes? They could have described them anyway. I'm just curious. Is there a reason that they described them in particular this way? I find that interesting. All right, next I want to take a look here at the Dogon tribe, and these ancient people race goes back thousands of years, and they had the worship of these star people, these aliens called where they would describe them with these big red glowing eyes, right? Again, the theme with the red glowing eyes. And so I'm just curious as to, is it that has the family heard these stories? Because I'm not sure if the average UFO observer goes into the research of these ideas of ufology as such. Um, and I just happen to be one of those nerds who just know a lot of stuff. I don't particularly study any of this stuff, but I'm very good at retaining information. And so I do know a lot of these stories about ancient civilizations and UFOs, etc. Right? And the Dogon tribe is one of them. But I'm just curious as to why the family describes them this way. Right? Is it some elaborate hoax that they planned? Some people feel it doesn't seem naturally likely, right? Is it a hoax? The 911 call seemed very hoax like to a lot of people because of the emotional state of the caller. Some people find it hard to believe, but there are some details that people do find a little bit uh, uh, out of the area of good of planning, right, or what could be good planning. For instance, the light falling from the sky. Sure, it could have been a meteor plant, and they could have kind of planned everything right after the meteor came down and said it's an alien. Let's treat it like an alien. Let's, as such. But again, that would require maybe some pretty good planning. Also, getting your entire family behind it. As we could see, they were armed going in the backyards, and it did look like something was blinking in those forklifts. Now, I don't understand the significance of the forklifts. Were they had they never seen a forklift before? Let's say they were some type of aliens and they were interested in the equipment. Why were they in the tractors rather? Were they trying to lift up their ship? What was the significance of that? They also say pitter patter on the roof, right? Was somebody trying to break in? Was it just a theft gone wrong, right? Could have been anything, right? But it is quite interesting uh, that what that image looked like. It did look very, very odd. And I think they probably need to have somebody analyze that film a little bit, those videos, and see if there's anything of significance. To me, it did look like the big eyes of the creatures were blinking. And if you look at it a few times, you might see that as whoa. um, of course, technology wise, if people say, where's the residue? Where's the, we can go from anything like alien technology, cloak ships to temporal time loops, anything, right? When you're dealing with technology like this, bending of gravity as such, everything goes out the window. You can't describe it in basic physics like did it make a noise when it crashed, etc. Although you did, there is some evidence of some noise that could be a meteorite striking and an explosion from that, etc. But I still don't hear any stories about the meteorite being found yet or anybody collecting fragments of the meteorite. And you can clearly see where it went down in the videos, right? They have many different angles of the meteorite crashing. So that's all very interesting, all very interesting stuff. I'll just conclude with this of the video and the UFO Las Vegas crash or whatnot is that many of the skeptics like myself, when asked, do we believe we're alone in the universe? A lot of times we look at how there's billions, if not trillions, of stars around with planets that are probably Earth-like inhabiting these stars, and we go, "Oh no, we can certainly believe that there's more life out there, etc." Right? We go that, but at what point? But at what point then do you decide when these landings are real, right? Is it when at a time when a credible government whistleblower, quote unquote, breaks the story that this is true, right? Or is it when you get uh, video footage that looks like it came off a Hollywood movie set? Because remind you all that even people thought the moon landing was fake, right? People still do think it's fake. They said it was produced on a Hollywood set, right? So, in that type of mind frame, if you did see video footage of clearly of aliens, etc., what would stop you from believing that that's just yet another UFO Hollywood set? Well done. Or some type of government disinformation campaign. I guess the point I'm making is, I guess at some point, uh, we have to take the evidence out there and examine what is likely and what isn't. And I do agree timing is important because some people believe this could be related to trying to get more money in the Space Force or some type of government defense program. And the government has lied to us, and that could be very much the case. But I think it kind of really as well comes down to do you believe in aliens or not, right? Uh, and that's what I think it's going to come down to. But anyway, guys, that's all I want to say in this video. Till next time, as always, take care of yourselves and each other.